Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, and also sponsored by Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Rowan with the B. Rowan Realty Group, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, and by Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency. The Community Difference Frisco was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Frisco starts now.
All right, good afternoon, Frisco. Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. We are a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Brian Poduska. I am the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments so you don't have to. Right here in Frisco is where we're headquartered and I live. I'm happy to be here again this week. If you haven't seen the show, you are watching episode 43 of the Community Difference Frisco. We are a show that puts a spotlight on one of 5 different types of individuals. That would be business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, Frisco ISD leadership, nonprofit leadership, and sports leadership. We are Sports City USA, after all. And we have a rotating business topic of the month. We are in our 3rd week here in October, and our business topic of the month is brand relevance, the overlooked piece to effective branding. So we will dive into that topic a little bit later in the show. But first, what I'd like to do, Nathan, if you don't mind, let's bring in our co-hosts for today. Ethan and Debbie, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you guys again. I know we've got a little bit of a mixer-upper here of, shuffling of the co-host deck. So good to see you guys. You are the regular team that is next week, but Ethan, you've got something else going on. So we were able to get you moved up to this week. So good to see you guys again. Welcome to the show. Debbie, why don't you go first? I'd like you to introduce yourself and then introduce your guests. I'm excited about both of our guests today, both friends of mine and friends of ours on the show here. So I will let you go, and then yes, we'll bring in Mina here in a bit. But go ahead first.
Yes, so Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemer, where I'm passionate about fostering financial literacy through educational and comprehensive solutions. Our goal is to empower individuals to take control of their finances, redeem their lives, and achieve true financial freedom. I'm super excited today to have Jason Kennedy as our guest. Jason is with the Amity Insurance Group, and I always tongue-tied, has been in insurance business over 20 years. He has considered himself a true insurance professional in all aspects. Jason resides in Frisco with his wife, Amy, and their 2 children, Bartley and Sloan. So I'm super excited. I've known Jason for many years, and he is very passionate about insurance, but he is also very knowledgeable in many, many other areas, including sports. So welcome, Jason.
Well, and because of that, he's a good fit in the show. We oftentimes get sidetracked on sports conversations. We'll try not to do that today. Jason, excited to see you today. I like your title down there, Insurance Guy. You are definitely the insurance guy.
I promise I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see or hear me, but I'm here.
We can hear you now. It looks like we may have some streaming issues. What I didn't mention up front, if you haven't seen the show, we are also a live show.
Am I here?
Yep, we can hear you. You may be buffering a little bit on the screen.
Okay.
But up there. It looks like you're
there you go.
caught up now, so that's a good thing. Welcome to the show, my friend. Good to see you.
Okay, great. I apologize for that.
No, you're good. What are you most excited to be on the show today? or I can answer for you.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Brian. You were
Okay.
kind of cut out on your question. If you could ask it again.
Yeah, for sure. What are you most excited to get out of the show today?
Oh, well, anytime I can hang out with you three, that's the exciting part of it right there. So,
well, amen to that.
Brian and Ethan, I'm good.
Amen to that. Well, hopefully our buffering catches up and we catch you real time. But hey, happy to have you on the show. Good to see you again. Nathan, do me a favor and bring Mina, and I'd like to introduce Mina to the audience, or reintroduce, I guess. Hi, Mina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you all?
I'm fantastic.
And I do want to apologize for these technical issues I'm having. I hope that everything will start working here. Okay.
Well, we'll get it figured out. But Mina has been a guest on the show previously, about a month ago or so, Mina. So yeah. Good to see you back on the show, and I'm excited to announce that you're going to be joining the Community Difference Little Elm as we launch that show coming up in the next couple months here. So excited to have you. You're just kind of riding shotgun for a little bit of training and to join the conversation. So thanks for being on today, and good to see you again.
Thank you for having me. I am beyond excited to be part of the team, and I am an educational consultant. My business, as I just say, is college prep coach. I'm a business development consultant as well for learning centers, and I'm a robotics coach to authors, speaker, and most of all, I'm a realtor. That's the best part.
Well, we love those realtors here. Speaking as one. Well, awesome. Thanks for joining us today, Mina. Excited to have you join and help launch the Little Elm Show. One question for you as well. What are you most excited to get into today?
About branding and how it makes a difference.
Love it. You see, you've already got the key buzzwords down, the difference. Love it. Well, awesome. And last but not least, I want to introduce our final guest here, Miss Jamie Height. I'm excited about having Jamie on the show, especially the timeliness of what she's got going on this coming weekend. But Jamie is a former public relations professional and full-time stay-at-home mom who dedicates her time to community advocacy efforts and volunteering. She created and currently administers a popular community Facebook group called Frisco Residents Who Care. I know a lot of you listening are probably members of that and stay abreast of everything Frisco through that website. It currently has over 20,000 members and is growing on the daily, as Jamie can attest. Ms. Height has served on numerous Frisco ISD committees since 2017, including the Long Range Planning Committee, Facilities and Programs Evaluation Committee, and the CTE Expansion Committee, District Advisory Council, the 2024 Bond Exploration Committee, and she is a graduate of the Frisco ISD Insight Class of 2020 and Leadership Frisco Class 25. So I'd love to hear your insights on that, Jamie. I'm in the current class 28, the best class ever.
Yeah.
Jamie has also volunteers weekly with the Donkey and Equine Haven in Salina, a nonprofit whose mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome donkeys, most of whom come from slaughter or neglectful living situations. Quite the intro there.
I didn't know you were going to use all of it, but yes.
Well, when you're involved in so many things, we need to let the audience know. So super excited to have you on the show. Excited to have you share, the journey of Frisco Residents Who Care, and most importantly, the event that you have in person coming up. I don't want to steal your thunder on that, but what are you most excited to get out of the show today?
Well, for starters, I'm excited to reach an audience of Frisco residents that I don't normally get to engage with, that may not know about the group or the event that I'm having or any of the things that we do at Frisco Residents Who Care. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
100%. Love to give a little bit of love to Frisco Residents Who Care and all the great things you have going on there. So welcome, everyone. What we're going to do real quick is take a quick commercial break, give a little bit of love to our sponsors, and then the backside, we're going to talk about what's going on in Frisco. So Nathan, take it away.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Ralwin with the Beer Ralwin Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, and by Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Frisco?
That's right. What's up, Frisco? It is here. So let's talk about what's going on in our Fariburg of Frisco. So we usually go ladies first on this program. I'm going to actually start with our guest, Jamie Height. Jamie, tell everybody about your event going on this Saturday.
Yeah, so this Saturday at the Frisco Rail Yard from 3 p.m. till 5:30, I'm having the Frisco Residents Who Care, our first ever in-person. It's a meetup, but it's also just a community gathering, trying to get anyone that lives in Frisco or anyone outside of Frisco that wants to come can come as well. It's free and open to the public, but really trying to kind of foster community and get people together face to face. I specifically chose the Rail Yard because, as many of you know, the current state of Main Street in our downtown Frisco Rail District area is under massive construction. Those small business owners are struggling, and a lot of residents don't realize that despite the condition of the roads, they're still open for business. So trying to give them a little opportunity to reach potential new customers, let people know they're open. I've got some people from the chamber coming to talk about their receipt race. Frisco ISD, IST members are going to be in attendance to speak about the upcoming bond and Vader items that'll be on the ballot to support public schools. And I've got someone from the city there as well. So it's going to be a little bit of everything, but mostly live music, food, drinks, and just community engagement.
That is awesome. I love everything about this event. It's educational, it's informative. We need the information. Those downtown businesses need people to know that they're still open. So from multiple different facets, love everything about the event. I hope I think the weather's supposed to be fantastic, isn't it?
It's supposed to be like sunny and high of maybe 80. So perfect.
Yes. Okay.
So can't use weather as an excuse not to come.
That's right. That's this Saturday at the Rail Yard, downtown Frisco. Times are, remind?
3 till 5:30.
3 till 5:30. And I believe we're going to talk about another thing going on in downtown Frisco at the NAC Theater. So we'll get to that here shortly. But so perfect time of day. It'll be 80 degrees. We'll get a little bit of sunburn, a little bit of education. A little bit of community camaraderie. So look forward to that. Is there anything else that you want to call out coming up in Frisco?
Well, same day as my event, actually shortly thereafter, Frisco Family Services has a balloon glow that is in Preston Trail. So I think that's from like 5 till 8 p.m. And you can bring items to donate to the food bank and check that out. So you can come to my event, have some food, drink, enjoy a live band, and then head over there.
There you go. Love it. Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that overview. In the spirit of ladies first, Debbie, let's go to you next.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, last week was the grand opening of the Kaleidoscope Park. And if you have not been there, it is amazing. And so the great thing is, it wasn't just last weekend. They had everything out on the court, which last weekend was super hot. But this coming weekend will be nicer. On the 26th, just a few things. It seems like if you go to their website and look at the events, they're going to have things all the time over the weekend. But they have a park parade, so like a parks situation going on. They'll also have the symphony one weekend. They'll have live music. So make sure that you be sure and check that out, because it's a brand new, beautiful park in Frisco. We have an event coming up And Nathan, if you'll go ahead and pull that up. This is a local online event. You know, if you know someone that is struggling through betrayal, either a male or female, these are going to be some local things online, a workshop timeline. So, you know, if you'd like some more information, just reach out to one of us on the show. But this is a great opportunity to really get some help in those areas. And then one other thing that I had was actually in Little Elm, just adjacent, but it's going to be on the 26th. It's going to be huge. The Texas' biggest drone fireworks. The fireworks are supposed to be bigger than they are on the 4th of July that goes over the Lake of Little Elm. Well, not Little Elm, actually it's Louisville. But Lake of Louisville, right there on the beach in Little Elm, so all the lakefront. It's going to be huge. They're going to drop a big pumpkin with candy. So it is $20. It's the 26th from 6:30 to 9:30. But it's going to be fantastic. We'll actually be out there and have a booth ourselves. So come out and join us. And then I think there's one other thing that's in Plano. This is this weekend. I know it's our sister city, but there will actually be several of us that are from Frisco out there. So it's a trick-or-treat party at 5:30 to 7, and then you can stay for the movie. They're having Beetlejuice. But it's going to be really big. There's lots of vendors. It's going to be lots of games, giveaways. So come out there and join us in Plano at Assembly Park. So that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that. Ethan, let's go over to you. What do you have going on in Frisco?
So I got two events. They're both this week. So Friday night, we over at Level Up Golf in Little Elm, there's actually a free golf workshop, and this is with one of my clients, Elevate PT. This is completely free. It's about a 2-hour session of just learning more about how to get better at golf, how to have a better swing, make sure you're not in pain. Like for me, I have a lot of back problems. So when I play golf, it's not exactly ideal. So it's definitely important to make sure you are doing the right movements in the middle of your swing. So I definitely recommend you go check that out. There's also a challenge. I believe it's either if you hit it closest to the pin or the furthest, you actually get a free training session and a free coaching session. And this simulator at Level Up Golf is actually really interesting. So when all the golf courses actually shut down for the year because it's too cold, you can actually go in there with your buddies and play a full round of 18 holes, which is actually really, really cool. And I might have to go check that out myself. And then my second event is actually on Saturday night, right down the street from Jamie's event at 6 p.m. So Low Rush Collectibles is a Pokemon trading card shop. So I'm sure growing up, most of you, if not a decent amount, heard of either Pokemon or actually had the cards growing up. Well, it's actually been revived since COVID, and the entire, I guess, collecting of Pokemon was revived. So there's usually about 200 people at this event, and it's completely free. You just show up, and you get to engage with the Frisco community. You get to trade, and then you can also go into the shop. We have vendors set up outside and inside, as well as the entire Lord Rush crew, and I will be there for both events as well, recording. But overall, it's a really fun time, especially for the kiddos if you want to get them into Pokemon. Definitely a hobby that's not the cheapest, but not the most expensive. So pick and choose for the kids, right? Got to save the pocket a little bit, but it's definitely going to be a good time with around 200 people there.
Love it. Well, Main Street's going to be hopping on Saturday. That is the place to be in Frisco. And Ethan, I have to tell you, golf is a non-contact sport. You being a hockey player, just remember that, okay?
I try my best. It's a lot of force in the backswing, you know. So
don't take it out on any of your playing partners. All right. Well, speaking of things going on Main Street, I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Kennedy. I want you to talk a little bit about a little something you do on the side for one of the businesses in downtown Frisco. That is a fantastic time. Great owners. I'll kick it over to you.
Hey, well, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, when I'm not being a boring insurance guy, I actually do have a fun little side gig, which is I'm a host at the Game Show Experience, and that is located in downtown Frisco in the Rail District. Now, as Jamie kind of mentioned in her when she was talking about her event, the Rail District, it is struggling right now because there are a lot of issues with the construction going on, and this isn't going to be a 1-month project. This is an 18-month project, and when it's done, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. But right now, these retailers down there could really use your support. So yes, I'm a host at the Game Show Experience. It's been in business for about a year. You may have known it previously as Countdown to Escape. It is owned by some Frisco residents, Fred and Shannon Hammond, or they own Countdown, and now they own the Game Show Experience with Danny Mehta, who I'm sure you all know. And it really is fun. We do multiple game shows. You bring a group in, you compete in teams. Debbie's done it. Debbie's been up there and done it with me before, and Ethan. And and you play a Family Feud type game. You do a Wheel of Fortune type game. We have a technical person who handles all the tech stuff. All I do is walk around and make bad jokes and talk to the guests, and things like that. So
perfect man for the job.
And I try to do it as much as I can. I don't have a lot of time to do it, but it is really fun. So I highly recommend people get out and check it out. In fact, Jamie, we are going to have one of our hosts, Chris Hurt, is actually going to be set up at your event on Saturday.
Yes, I heard about that.
Booth. Yeah. So that'll be exciting. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it to anybody who's interested. Please contact me directly, and I would love to set you up with a show.
Sure.
There's Ethan talking smack about.
Yeah, he is talking smack.
I did also want to give a shout out all the way from New Mexico, Lennon Wilson, the creator of The Difference podcast radio show live stream. There he is. He's watching from New Mexico, and Nathan is doing a fantastic job filling in as producer for him. So good to hear from you, Lendon. Nathan, why don't you go ahead and just pop up whatever splashes you've got, and I'll talk to him. All right. So this one is our Business Development Alliance. This is free business development training for any small business owner, entrepreneur who is in the Frisco area. We meet live and in person the second Tuesday of every month at 5 p.m. at Blue Mesa, right off of 121 in the tollway. Scan that QR code to put your information in. Again, it's a free program. We meet every single month, and then we also have online support for that every Thursday evening. So this evening at 7 p.m. For the weeks in between the live meetings. In addition to the training, there is a happy hour and a networking component from 6 to 7 p.m. So it's a 2-hour thing. The training is from 5 to 6. The happy hour is from 6 to 7. You don't have to go to both, but highly recommend it. Would love to see you guys there. The next one is November 12th. All right, there we go. So this dude is coming to the NAC Theater in downtown Frisco, national act. So he travels all over the country. He's coming to our own downtown in our cozy NAC Theater, about 250 seats. This dude is awesome. If you've seen his TikToks, Reels, he does some amazing things with cards, and he's funny as all hell, and he's sarcastic. So come check him out. It's this weekend, October 18th and 19th, 2 shows, 8 p.m. So as you're working your way down Main Street, make sure you stop at the NAC Theater to check him out this Saturday. Also at the NAC Theater next month, November 16th, is Tom Cotter. He's a comedian. He's been on America's Got Talent. This one is an 18-plus show, so just make sure that you bring your earmuffs if you're not comfortable with some curse words. But come check out Tom Cotter at the NAC Theater, November 16th, next month, 7:30 and 9:30, 2 shows. All right, and then we have a trunk or treat on Saturday, October 26th. This is at the Collin College Frisco campus. So it's free. It's a free event. So bring your whole family out. Come in your costume, dress up your car, dress up your kids. Come on out and have some fun. There will be a costume contest, I believe, and just come check it out. It's on not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday before Halloween. What else we got, Nathan? The mix. So this was recently approved earlier this week. I believe it was on Tuesday at the City Council. So everybody in Frisco knows of the Hole by the Toll, as it's known, or Frisco's largest swimming pool. There's all kinds of. The project, formerly known as Wade Park, is now being replaced by the Mix. So I'm going to read a little bit of statistics on this one. The Mix, it's a 112-acre mixed-use development in Frisco, located at the southeast corner of Lebanon and Dallas Parkway. It is set to redefine what was formerly known as Wade Park. It's a $3 billion development. It includes plans for 2 million square feet of new Class A office space, 375,000 square feet of retail space, 2 hotels, townhomes, and urban living units. The development will feature a large park and include more than 16 acres of open space throughout the development. So picture mixed use, commercial, residential, with green space in between. And guess what? It's coming, right? There's the way that they set this up is pretty fantastic. There are incentives being granted by the city, by the EDC. However, they are performance-based. So no more parking hole in the ground. As things are developed, those incentives will be released. So a unique and new way to bring about that project. Super excited for that. I've talked about this program before. This is the Frisco ISD Incubator Program. So this is for young entrepreneurs who are interested in launching a business and learning more about entrepreneurship. Think of this as Shark Tank for high school students. Miss Ashley Sine is the director of that program, so reach out to her directly if you have time to volunteer. Volunteers are needed. It's at 5 different high schools within Frisco ISD. Business owners, entrepreneurs, adults, parents, if you have time to volunteer, there's all kinds of different roles that you can serve toward that effort. Nathan, do we have anything else? I know we've spent a lot of time on What's Up Frisco. Yes, the Hills of Kingwood neighborhood is having a festival and neighborhood market that's November 17th. So it's next month. But what they're looking to do is have vendors come and set up, vendor tents and, things like that. So they're looking to support local merchants, essentially. So if you are a local vendor, reach out to that HOA, the Hills of Kingwood. You can get approved by their HOA to be a vendor. I think it's 100% for free. The neighborhood is just looking to support local vendors. So reach out to them if you are interested in doing that and can do that on November 17th. Do we have anything else, Nathan? All right. I think we've covered everything Frisco. It's busy. So as we get out of the damn hot summer, we have all kinds of cool stuff going on.
Exactly.
I think we just got out of the hot summer like yesterday. Like 2 days ago.
And we almost skipped right over that fall. It was in the 40s yesterday?
Yeah, this morning.
A little in between would be a nice little in between. As they say, fall usually lasts about 3 weeks here in Texas, and then it'll pop up maybe in January as a tease. But all right, so that puts a bow on our What's Up Frisco segment. What we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back on the other side of that, and we're going to dive into the business topic of the month. Nathan, go ahead and take us away.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. So, as I mentioned up front, we always have a rotating business topic of the month. As I mentioned earlier, the topic of this month is brand relevance, the overlooked piece to effective branding. And there's a lot of different components to this. We've had, the previous 2 weeks, we've had some great conversation around this. I'm excited to dive into this one, particularly given our guests that we have today. Jamie, I'm going to direct the first question to you because one of the components we've talked about before is, strategic partnerships, community engagement, and co-creation. And I feel like that's exactly what Frisco Residents Who Care is all about. And, the genesis of how you started it is exactly that in the community engagement side. So give me your perspective on, obviously you're not building a brand in, the business sense of trying to make money, but you're building a brand, an online brand and an online group to bring the community closer together.
Right.
So how have you used community engagement from the beginning of Frisco Residents Who Care all the way to where it is today?
Yeah. To be honest, my entire group was founded on community engagement. I moved to Frisco in 2015 with my husband and 3 children. My youngest at the time was about to start kindergarten, and the group really started organically. There was, at the time, the city was in the process of trying to rezone land across from the elementary school to place a large substation to power the Star. And as many people know, a lot of residents were not happy about it. So I guess my background in PR kicked in, and I just decided to get involved, to learn how we got where we were and what are the options going forward. And so after a year of efforts, we were able to get that substation moved to land that was already zoned for utilities. But out of that came sort of the revelation that I had 1,000 people who lived right there who had no idea this was happening in their backyards. Yeah. So it sort of led me to the idea that if they didn't know this, like what else might they not know is happening in their community around them. So I just rebranded the group, changed the name, and kind of let it just evolve organically and let people use the group for what they felt was sort of missing in their community. So if that's sharing about nonprofits or, city issues that are happening, everything from, traffic accidents to, hey, this charity is having this event. The topics really run the full gamut.
Yeah, and you being the administrator of that has to be in and of itself a full-time job, just knowing the content that I see on there on the daily.
It is. And sometimes, I have 3 children of my own. My older 2 are now in college, and I try not to censor too much. Every once in a while, you have to get in there like an adult to a child and kind of remind them like, hey, we can be neighbors and friends and disagree about things as long as we do so respectively. And it sounds so basic and simple, but it's amazing how many times, even as grown adults on social media behind our keyboards, sometimes that gets the best of us. So hence the reason for my event, trying to get people face to face.
Keyboard warriors in person. We'll see how
how
strong everybody is.
Yeah, 100%. But it's a lot more time than people realize. I'm happy to do it. I said, as long as I feel like my group continues to benefit the community as opposed to cause harm to the community, I will continue to invest the hours and time. And I'm kind of looking forward to getting people together in person, since for the last however many years, 8 years, I guess, we've all sort of gotten to know each other through social media. I think it's time to kind of get some of those members face to face, share a drink and talk about the issues in Frisco.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I'll be there. I'm looking forward to the event and looking forward to hearing the speakers you have lined up and the live music. What live music performance?
So I have, so the band Emerson is going to be playing, and they play at the Rail Yard frequently. Keith Shipman is the lead singer. So I've hired them to play. And then during their sort of set break around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:30 is when the speakers will talk. But even if you show up before or after and you've missed the speakers, everyone's going to kind of hang out at different tables. So, for example, if you have a question for the superintendent or someone at the school district, they'll be there to engage and answer those questions. Same with the chamber. A lot of the Downtown Advisory Merchant Association are going to help me. We're going to have a bunch of the businesses. It's not formal and structured. What I told the business owners was, it's your opportunity. If you're comfortable coming out, like I know the game show is going to have some stuff. I think Brooklyn Cuts may be doing some mobile hair cutting. It may also be businesses that want us to just sort of hand out, hey, these are the upcoming, shows at the NAC Theater, or here's our menu for this week. Just try to create a marketing opportunity for those businesses without asking too much of them when they're already sort of struggling.
Well, and as we're talking about the brand relevance and overlooked piece of branding, right? I consider that to be exactly that, right? It's an opportunity for them to get their brand out in a non-traditional way, in a non-traditional community. So love that in multiple ways. Jason, I think you had a question that you wanted to ask Jamie.
Yeah, no, I would say I was probably one of the first people to like Frisco residents who care. I mean, I've lived in Frisco since 2006, and I've lived in the Metroplex my entire life. But, and you were talking about, you do a great job as far as the branding of keeping it as the Frisco residents who care. You were talking about how you sometimes have to come in and, cut off comments. And I was just going to mention that anytime I see a controversial topic on there, you do a great job with that, because if I come back 10 minutes later to read the comments, you've already cut them off. And, I just want to get in there and be nosy and read the comments, but you've already shut that down. But I was going to ask, how many members do you currently have in the group?
Currently pushing 21,000, I believe.
Wow.
It varies. And I try not to have to turn comments off. Election season, it always gets crazy. It's not meant to be a forum to debate and argue about politics. I mean, yes, there are issues facing our community. We've got public school district ballot measures coming up. During election season, I'm big on getting out the vote information, but it's not a page for everyone to come and campaign at or argue or insult each other. Yeah. It's really just about, I feel like if you're aware of what's happening in your community and you look for the facts and you're engaged, you can really make a difference in your community. And it's as simple as that. And some people question my motives for the group. I've never made a penny off of it. I'm never running for an elected position. That's not my goal. It's not to promote myself. It's really to give the residents of Frisco sort of a forum that they can utilize, I guess, for the things that they feel they need out of the city of Frisco. So,
yeah. Well, that and to provide Jason the opportunity to be that meme with the popcorn, throwing
100%.
Trust me, you should see me reading the comments at night. My husband and I will be sitting there. I'm like, can you believe this? And I'll show him my phone. And, for the most part, of course, I love Frisco. I love the people here. Sometimes it's a little hurtful to read some of the comments that are said, but those are much more fewer than you might expect. There's way more positive than I see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think along those same lines, Jason, I'll turn it around to you. How can a small business become pillars in the community by aligning with local values, culture, ensuring deep relevance compared to a large national brand. So how do you kind of align in this?
Well, are you talking about as far as on a situation like this with a group like that, like a Frisco Residents Who Care type group?
Well, not necessarily. How have you kind of differentiated yourself, but aligning with the community in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that question. So yeah, I've always been very active in the community. One of the first things I figured out was once I had kids, that was a great way to be active in the community. So once my kids were old enough to play sports, I was able to help coach their teams, whether it was football, basketball, which I was not qualified for, softball, which I did with my daughter. It was the only thing I was kind of qualified for to do that. And that was a great way to get out in the community, whether it was through FFL or FBSA or different organizations. But one thing I've been doing for the last 5 years, I actually have a visual that I sent over to Ethan, is I've been the president of the Booster Club at Wakeland High School. And, kind of like with Jamie, people say, why are you doing this? So here's an ad. This is an ad that I use in our sports program that we put out every year. Now you notice our logo, Amity Insurance Group, is down at the bottom. Nobody's going to notice that because all they see is me wearing a Wakeland shirt in front of the Wakeland Tunnel on Toyota Stadium. With 20 years experience in the industry, why wouldn't you trust the Wolverine Club president with your insurance? So in this type of instance, I'm not trying to sell Travelers or Safeco or whatever company it is I'm working with. I'm selling myself as Jason Kennedy. I'm the insurance guy. I want to be your insurance guy. So those are the ways that I've always worked myself into the community, and it's always been highly effective for me. In fact, one of the best referral sources I ever got was a mortgage guy of a guy that I coached against in the Frisco Football League when our kids were in second grade. So that's some of the ways I've kept my branding, Jason Kennedy, out there.
Awesome.
Love that. Ethan, I think you had a question that you wanted to ask Jason.
It was more just like, not really a question, but I kind of just want to make a statement on this overall topic. Obviously, we have our unique, different ideas for the conversation and stuff like that. But one thing that was really missing out when it comes to the overlooked piece of effective branding was funneling. A lot of brands do this so horribly wrong, and that's how you are actually relevant. For instance, The Difference does it really well, actually. So when I talk about funneling, where are you moving your viewers in your target market? Where are they going when they step foot on your social medias and stuff like that? Even for community events, what are they doing? So for instance, for the community difference, right, we have the podcast. Well, then we redirect them to the BDA to be with us at Business Develop Alliance, stuff like that. And then we're like, oh, you should be a co-host. And we bring them on again. And it's, where are you moving your target audience? Because if they keep seeing you, you're already relevant, right? You're relevant in their brain. But funneling is honestly not that complicated, but complicated at the same time, because it's, what are you trying to get from that target market? And how can you funnel them in the right direction? For instance, most businesses and social medias, if you run an ad, well, they see you on social media, but where are you funneling them to? Are you funneling them to the product, to a website? So when I think of staying on top of business trends and honestly the overlooked piece of branding, it's being able to funnel your impressions, your viewers, your audience to other pieces of your brand. And that's what makes you stay on top of mind.
I like that. Very, very insightful, young man.
The future's in good hands.
we oftentimes make fun of Ethan in a good way, that he's wise beyond his years as our youngest member of the Difference. But he's always bringing good insights to the table.
I mean, I still can't believe he's only 14. It's crazy.
he's barely shaving.
It's crazy. My children, I've got 20 and 21-year-olds and a 14-year-old, and they find it hysterical that so one of my degrees in college is in journalism. And I talk about when I got my degree, the internet didn't exist. So I learned print journalism. So we used to have to, how did you do that? And it was like, and I went to college at the University of Arizona, and one of the classes we had to produce the newspaper for the city of Tombstone. So we would actually go down to Tombstone and stay in an apartment and go around the town to get news stories, run back up to Tucson, which is like a 2-hour drive, type up our stories, and physically have to go hand them in, and then they'd print the paper, and we'd have to hand deliver all the newspapers.
Right.
And, you know, now by the time I graduated, the internet and emails was like a thing. So it changed in the course of my years of getting my degree.
Yeah.
And it's been
Absolutely.
Yeah, to see the change.
It's everlasting, evolving
it
technology and systems.
What's next, right? Like, what's going to be next in 10 years? So,
Yeah, well, AI, I'm sure will play a part of that. Mina, I think you wanted to ask a question. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. So, Jamie, I wanted to congratulate on the group that you have, and similar to what Ethan was saying. How do you differentiate your group with other social groups on Facebook, and what do you think is next for your group?
Yeah, and those are good questions. I mean, in terms of differentiating it, there are so many social media groups out there. Some of them are very niched in their topics, whether it's just supporting local restaurants or just talking about school issues. And I think one of the things that separates Frisco Residents Who Care from others is the broad variety of topics that we're able to cover. I mean, some of my favorite moments adminning the group was back when we had our winter freeze and everyone's pipes were bursting and people were scrambling. I was able to connect, you know, neighbors to neighbors, people that didn't know each other, getting them plumbers or water delivery. I mean, just the times that we've been able to help each other, I guess, and remind each other as a community, people just stepped up. I was also able to raise money for a veteran who was turning 100 years old. He didn't have a bathtub. So his wife, who was in her 80s, was literally hand bathing him and he just wanted a bath. So I set up a GoFundMe and raised $8,000 in 24 hours and got this walk-in bathroom,
awesome.
You know. So it's those moments that remind me it's worth continuing to do it. And what was the second part of your question? Oh, the future group.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole event thing, getting people together face to face, this is my first time doing it. I thought of doing it in the past. And then right when I got ready to pull the trigger, COVID happened. And then I had 2 kids graduate high school back to back and go out of state to college, and life got busy. And I've sort of held on to that idea of, can we take, because I love social media, but I hate it too. It's like, can we take the good out of the group and just, transport it into real life. So if this event is successful and we get a good turnout and people seem to like that idea, then maybe going forward, we host some similar events, whether it's, quarterly or we'll see. But I'd like to try to start doing a little bit more in-person events that have a direct impact on the community, because we can all sit behind our keyboards and say all the things, but I'm a big believer in putting the work in behind my words. So when I say I volunteer, like I volunteer, I'm out there physically doing the work. So we'll see. We'll see if this event goes well, then maybe we'll do some more, get more involved with some events that benefit all sorts of, not just the rail district, but charities or businesses in Frisco.
I have a hunch it's going to be beautiful.
I hope so, and I appreciate your support.
Of course. I've already RSVP'd yes. So,
good.
Yes. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll make it a field trip to go. And I think, it's one of those things that meeting in person is, as we learned during COVID, right? We can meet over Zoom or whatever, but it's just not the same if it's
doesn't take the place.
So
it's just
I love
convenient.
that you're taking it to that next level, and you've got social responsibility behind it with all the things that you're doing. So unfortunately I do have to cut us short on the business topic, because we do need to give our sponsors some love. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but on the other end of that, I want to dive into Jamie and Jason's person, or who they are as people, to share that with the audience. So with that, Nathan, go ahead, take us to break, and we'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And we are entering the segment where we put the spotlight on our guests. We allow you guys to just kind of share, what your passions are, what drives you, your why, and your road to get to how you got to where you're at today. So tradition is we'll go ladies first. Jamie, you've talked a little bit about the genesis of Frisco Residents Who Care. It started as a way to get that power station moved away from the elementary school, which personally I'm thankful with our kids going to the same elementary school as are all the folks who live in that area. So thank you for that. But obviously you're super involved in the Frisco community. Love that. What drives you? What makes you so passionate about Frisco?
Well, we moved here, like I said, in 2015. I had 3 kids. My youngest was just starting kindergarten and my oldest was just starting 6th grade. So we moved here kind of with the idea that this would be where we would raise our kids and have them go through the school district here. And it became very evident very quickly that the people in Frisco were just honestly some of the nicest, friendliest people that I've encountered. I didn't move here with this intention of starting a Facebook group or anything, but the more I got to learn about the city of Frisco and the people in it, it just sort of inspired me. I've been fortunate. I had a career in PR and media relations working for, big agencies back east in DC. And after I had my kids, I've been fortunate to be able to be a full-time stay-at-home mom, but still always looking for things to get involved with. And I sort of just began to realize I want, when the day comes that I passes, I want my kids to look back and feel proud of their mom. So I don't want to just sit on the sidelines and, let things happen in my community that I feel like I could at least maybe try to make a difference.
Love that. And what you didn't mention, I think you've been playing general contractor GC role for like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So in your immense free time, what do you like to do in Frisco other than GC and your own home projects?
Yeah, we've recently done several home renovation projects, but so about a year ago, I mentioned I volunteer. It sounds crazy, but at a donkey and equine rescue in Salina. As much as I engage with people during the day, I love animals and I love dogs. But if I volunteered at the animal shelter, I'd probably have 50 dogs. So I didn't know anything about donkey equine rescues. Had no idea that there was even a need for such a thing. But I am physically out there in the fields every Wednesday for several hours, 3 hours at a time. There's over 100 donkeys. So I'm up there and I do Pilates and I work out. I love to go out on trail walks and hikes. I have a dog, so I'm out with her a lot. But otherwise, I'm a big sports fan. So I grew up playing sports. I played college soccer. My husband played college soccer. We met playing soccer. So so we're big on going to sporting events and concerts. Pretty basic. We keep it simple, but
you fit in well with the crew here. We at one point we had a sports dedicated talk show as part of the difference, and in all of our free time we may do that. And Jason, I know you're a big sports nerd, which I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I'm a sports cool person, not nerd.
That's debatable. I mean, you did give up your cowboy fandom a couple years ago, so I can respect that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what drove you from? I mean, I know a little bit about your past. You were in the sports casting arena coming out of college, but tell us a little bit about your passions and what drives you.
Yeah, similar to Jamie, I was actually a journalism major in college as well. I did a lot of sports work when I was in college at Southwest Texas. In fact, Bobcats, Bobcat back there, Texas State now, for those of you who don't remember when it was Southwest Texas. But, I realized what a low-paying, career that is when you're starting out. And I had met my wife and we wanted to have kids. And I realized that if I wanted to give them the life that I wanted to give them, it wasn't going to be, it's broadcasting is one of those things where you have to work your way up. You start on the different podcast, and then you move up to ESPN, community difference, and then you move up to ESPN, but you're doing the community difference for 20 years before you move up to ESPN. So realized I had to get into something that was going to be a little more lucrative. And that's what kind of led me into the insurance business. Just really insurance, if you can use a couple of websites, it's really just about your personality and being able to meet people and being able to market yourself like we talked about and brand yourself. So yeah, it's pretty much my family that's kind of motivated me to get to where I am today. One thing I wanted to mention on the branding side was I did own my own agency for several years, which I sold. And then I was out of insurance for about a year. And then I got back in with this group of guys that I knew. And when I owned my own agency, the name of my agency was JK Insurance Agency for Jason Kennedy. On the branding side, again, it wasn't about Travelers or Safeco or MetLife or whatever carrier I had to be with. It was about, I have my insurance with Jason Kennedy. That's who my insurance is with. Well, I can't call Jason Kennedy. I can't call in claims to Jason Kennedy. So who is it with? And then I would have to tell him, oh, you're actually with Travelers. But yeah, it's my family that's kept me motivated. And as far as interest, yeah, you're exactly right. I'm a huge sports nerd. In fact, I wanted to mention earlier when I was having technical difficulties, when we were kind of going over things going on around town, and man, there's some huge football games going on this weekend. I don't know if you touched on that because I was off for a second.
I didn't.
I mean, that tomorrow night at Kukendall Stadium, you've got Frisco, the Raccoons, the original, taking on Frisco Wakeland. And that's a game that's essentially a playoff game because the loser of that game has about a 2% chance to make the playoffs. So that's a fun one. You've got Emerson, Frisco Emerson, one of our newer schools, and they're fighting for their life. They're going to play at Lovejoy tomorrow, and that's a huge game. So those are things I keep myself busy with. I like to know what's going on around the sports world. I have a son who played football at Wakeland, and he's now in college playing at Stetson University in Florida. And then I have a daughter who's a volleyball player at Wakeland. So I'll actually be in Highland Park tomorrow night watching Wakeland volleyball, which will be a heck of a game. So those are some of the things I enjoy.
Love it. Well, I enjoy your recaps and the I think I saw a post that you kind of summarized the different playoff chances that all the Frisco high schools.
Yeah,
have.
I need to get in and update that. I've had people texting me and I haven't had time. I need to do it before today though, because there's games tonight. Reedy's playing tonight, and I think they're playing Centennial at a Toyota Stadium. And Lone Star's got Sherman tomorrow. They'll probably destroy Sherman, but. Hey, here's something interesting, too. Did you know that the top running back in the country right now in college is from Frisco?
Lone Star, baby.
Yeah. Barrett played against him. My son played against him as his sophomore and junior year. He's got highlights of him tackling him, one-on-one. I'm like, you should send those to some of those Mountain West schools. Maybe you could get a offer from Hawaii or something and move over to Hawaii or
hey,
Colorado State.
The transfer portal is a thing of gold, so jump in it, man. All right. Well, we do have to take a commercial break. I appreciate that. You guys both sharing some of your personalities and personal loves and things like that. So thank you very much for that. Right now, we're going to jump to commercial. On the back end, we're going to talk about what's the difference. So take us away, Nathan.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, welcome back. We are in our What's the Difference segment. Real quick, I did want to touch on that last commercial break. And again, just call out the fact that we are expanding to other communities as well with the same concept of being seen, being heard, being remembered within the community. And that show is coming up in Little Elm. Debbie's going to be hosting that show. So looking forward to getting that off the ground. But in this segment, I ask a question, right? And I try to curate it as we go along based on the conversation and who our guests are. So I'm going to ask a question. You guys give the answer. There's no right or wrong answer. And then at the end, I will read the answer that I'll call it the Webster's Dictionary answer to the question. So given the fact that, we've got a local community website or Facebook group, relationship building is the topic of this question. The question is, what is the difference between being well connected and being influential? Okay, what's the difference between being well connected and being influential? And with that, Jamie, I'm going to let you lead off your answer. So I give you very little time to think about it, but off the top of your head, what do you got?
All right. Well, off the top of mind, I think the difference, and when you're influential, it's sort of like you're being a leader. So you're actually leading the charge. Being well connected, you may have a lot of connections within the community that you can utilize or engage with. But when I think of being influential, it's somebody who's willing to sort of step out of the norm and maybe do things a little differently. And try to engage others to do the same. So
I like that. Well, and I thought about your example earlier when I picked this question. Obviously being well connected with the Frisco residents who care, you're connecting the community through that Facebook page. You're also utilizing that to do good, right? You talked about the fundraising for the veteran, so I think that's carrying on the well connected to be transitioning to being influential for purposes of good. In that case, it could be used for any number of different uses. But I thought that was a great example, which is one of the reasons I picked this question.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, same question to you.
Well, yeah, it's a good question. It's an interesting question. I had a boss one time in one of my first insurance jobs who kind of was trying to direct me to be more influential with some of the agents in the office. And in his view of it, it was, are people going to follow you? Or do you have enough influence that people want to follow you? And, you can be as well connected as anybody, but at the end of the day, are you going to be able to make those people really want to come to terms with what with what you want them to do? So, I mean, that's probably my best explanation for that as far as influential is who's following you, and I don't mean that in a following, that almost sounds like a negative connotation, but I'm not talking about like a cult or anything, but yeah, how are you able to get people to follow your lead?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So leadership, right? It comes down to leadership, and leaders, you're a leader and people follow you. And yeah, you have to have that influence in order to be in that position. So love it. Good answer. All right, Ethan, what do you got?
I'm kind of going to go with Jason's answer, but in my opinion, being influential is a one-way street, whereas being well-connected is a two-way street. So I kind of feel like well-connected, it's not as influential just because like Jason said, like influential meaning like you want people to follow you. I don't know if that means like they're following you, but I feel like being well-connected is more of a two-way street with you and that other person, whereas influential, like I could think, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is influential, but I don't know him. I'm not really well connected with him. I mean, he has got some great motivation speeches on YouTube somewhere and stuff like that, but I feel like it's just different, the type of connection that you're looking for. It just depends on what you're looking for. So I think influential is more of a one-way street, whereas well-connected is more of a two-way street.
Okay, I like that perspective. Mino, what about you? What are your thoughts on this one?
So I would go with our young old soul, Ethan, and I think it is all about, well connected. I believe in connections. It's a two-way street, and with the influential, it's also about trusting somebody, right? I mean, they might be both different ways of looking at things, but I feel well connected is better because then you are a connector. Because people are always looking for connections, right? Influential, I mean, you have so many film actors to sports players, but I feel well connected is the way to go. You are somebody you are personable, people can really reach out to you and you connect well with them. Influential, it depends, there's so many influencers, but it depends, it's almost like one perspective that you are influential in, right? It cannot be a wide, diverse dialogue or perspective that you would have about anything. So I would say, that's what my take is on being well connected or influential.
All right, I like that, and you're right. Influencers, that's almost taken on a negative connotation in today's social media world, right? So, to my point earlier, influencing can go good or it can go bad. There's a lot of different ways to influence. So I like that perspective. Debbie, what about you?
Well, and I think they pretty well even answered, but when I very first heard the question, and I do think of an influencer sometimes as those people out there. I mean, example, I watched Dancing with the Stars, and they had a TikTok star on there. I didn't know this person from Adam, but everyone knew her because she was had this career on TikTok just by the influences of the things and stuff. So I think of influencer as more of that versus, I think if you're both of them, I mean, I honestly think Mina is a great example of this, is being a connector, but she's also influential in the things that she does, but she is an excellent connector. So I think you can definitely be both. But if you're just one or the other, then that's where it's not that trusting, like a lot of us said. It's not that you've lost some of that connection with people wanting to like, know, and trust you. So,
yep, love that. All right, here's the official Webster's Dictionary answer to the question of what's the difference between being well-connected and being influential. The answer: being well-connected means having a large network of contacts across various industries or sectors. Being influential means having the ability to shape opinions, decisions, and outcomes within your network, often through thought, leadership, and trust. So I think you guys pretty much nailed that. From the trust factor, the leadership factor, I think you guys all touched on that. So well done. I guess I would say you guys nailed it. All right. With that, guys, we are up against it here. I told you before the show started, it's amazing how quickly an hour and 15 minutes flies by. This is no exception. So what I want to do is give Jason and Jamie a quick, opportunity to remind the audience who you are, what you do, and then I'm going to ask the question, what was your key takeaway from the show today? So Jason, I'll start with you.
Oh, thanks. Well, Jason Kennedy, again, I'm with Amity Insurance Group. I do all kinds of insurance, whether it's personal, home, and auto. I can do commercial. I don't do health, but I have lots of people I can connect you with for that. And as far as life, I can connect you to my good friend, Debbie Watson over there. But yes, that's what I do. And I was at a networking meeting several years ago, and I stole this tagline, and I still use it to this day. If you don't know insurance, at least know your insurance agent. So Jason Kennedy with Amity Insurance Group. As far as my takeaway from the meeting today, man, this being my first time to be on the Community Difference, and I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to come back. So my takeaway is, when can I come back?
Fair answer.
Looking for co-hosts. We're looking for co-hosts.
We'll get you booked, my friend. All right, Jamie, what about you?
Okay, so I'm Jamie Height. As I mentioned, I'm the creator and admin for a Facebook group called Frisco Residents Who Care. I encourage everyone to join. I'm excited for my event this Saturday, October 19th from 3 to 5:30 at the Frisco Rail Yard. Get the community together, away from their computers, face-to-face in real life, and just enjoy some live music and be informed about our community. In terms of my takeaway, to be honest, so as I mentioned, my background's in PR and media relations and marketing, and it's fun to utilize that part of my brain again. I forget how much I really enjoyed talking about branding and marketing. And so I've really enjoyed being a guest on the show, and grateful I was finally able to make my calendar work to be here.
Well, it was a struggle, but we made it happen, and we were super thankful we got you on before the event coming up this weekend. So thank you both for being our guest today. Super appreciate your time, your insights. And if you're in Frisco this weekend, come on out to Jamie's event Saturday afternoon, 2 to 5:30. Is that right?
3 to 5:30.
3 to 5:30. Show up early. Come at 2. Why not? Awesome. Well, with that, guys, this is a wrap. Awesome show today. A pleasure having you guys on. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next week, Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Same business topic, one last week. Until then, have a safe, fun weekend. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Rowland with the B. Rowland Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, and by Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference.